proposal. Once there lived the mightiest king, who ruled the whole universe, and everything between the heavens and earth was under his command. He lived alone for many, many years, even though he had slaves and entertainers of all sorts to amuse him. But there came a time when he couldn't feel happiness, even by all the amusers. So he decided to find his true love to accompany him. Now it was the time to execute his plan that was already made by him long ago. Earlier, he chose a family with the good hearts and pure deeds to have the created one born. He arranged everything perfectly. The years went by, and he raised her under his divine protection and care, as nobody from the kingdom got to know her true identity as the chosen one from the greater purpose in future. The time she was studying, he visited her quite often and made her feel special since the beginning. So as soon she grew up into a beautiful maiden, he decided to start revealing the truth about her being heavily blessed throughout all the years of her life. At the tender age, she was known to the facts which were not even understood by the people of vast knowledge. The world around her was innocent and hallowed, but she was oblivious of the fact that somebody so divine was watching over her each moment of her life to protect and safeguard her from the evil intentions of those who were familiar with the plan to some extent. When it was the time for him to come to her, revealing many things, the people of his court got to know, and they started to affect her life with their trickery and wicked manipulation, so that she should never got to know the truth about herself and her true identity. For this reason, they played every malicious move that was in their means to stop her to take her rightful place. The auspicious time came, and the mighty king worked according to his plan, and the signs of happy era could be noticed all over her, and her life miraculously transformed into a supernatural odyssey. She could realize the happenings which were strange and amazingly beautiful. The glitter and shine surrounded her whole existence and enveloped her into a bliss, beauty, and euphoric delight. It was the beginning of the happy era for her, when one day the love of her life came to her. She could hear him without listening through the earthly ears, and she could see him without looking through the earthly eyes. She saw him on the throne right in front of her, along with his 3 high-ranked ministers, in a blend of solemn and happy disposition. To her surprise, he asked her lovingly, "Will you marry me?" The divine proposal was sudden, for although she heard the same in a murmur and whisper before, and ignored as to consider it the whistling of the wind or her wild imagination, at the very moment it was not a whisper or imagination. The voice was loud, was vivid, and packed with all the love in it. asking was deep and meaningful, enough to shake her very soul within her. She thought for a moment, keeping herself somber, in order not to sway with affectionate waters, which have already engulfed her heart, and tried to reply sanely, as it was a matter of greater importance, and she was careful not to get indulged into anything unpleasant. She thought and answered as wisely as she could that if the deity was some divine vision, apparition, or somebody important from the same line, she was not interested to have any kind of relationship with any of those, because she was a human and would like to marry a human, only to stay with him all the time and to find him near for all the needs, and not somebody from the world afar. After this, she merely, out of her curiosity, mischievously told that if she had to, she would only marry the mightiest king, one who was the ruler of the whole universe, and everything was under his command and authority. Furthermore, she added that even if the inquirer was him, she would not be taken as a muser for the king, but the wife of the king after rightful legal wedlock, and she would not be the one among many, but the only one wife he would ever have. He heard her every word devotedly, and in the gesture of intimate affection and passionate adoration, accepted each word she demanded, not knowing that he was the mightiest king himself, asking her love and matrimonial right for the eternity, to fulfill the celestial plan. To her disbelief, he was ready to bestow upon her the ultimate affection and loyalty forever and evermore. For more videos, like, subscribe and comment.